Is
So many games, too many kids. It's the New Dad Gaming Show.
show
Okay, that's not bad.
that went pretty well for just off the cuff.
I think we've just found our jingle. That's gonna be our radio ad.
Are we turning into like a game show? It
And
sounds more.
now, the hostess with the mostest, Jeff Smalley and the other guy. It's a New Dad Gaming Show.
Come on, folks, sing with us.
6 games, 4 consoles, and too many kids. Cha cha cha.
Oh no, my son deleted the cloud save I had.
No automatic
Not starting
save.
over.
Delete that game.
Yeah, had this pain.
Yeah. You promised me Steam Deck. You lie.
Yeah, don't promise that. I'll hold you to it.
All right. That should do us. So we are talking for the giveaway screenshot of you recording the show. Go to our Twitter, find the pinned tweet, retweet it, like it. Was the like part of it?
Right,
Like and
but
retweet.
yeah, it'll be over though by the time this is out, right?
Oh, well, should we still mention?
We
Okay,
can mention it.
Yeah, right. We'll just give we'll give a big shout. We'll give a thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thanks for entry. Thanks for listening.
That's right. Unless they're listening live, they have
Yeah.
a few more hours. Anybody who's listening live,
Anybody out there right now? You have it's EST.
August.
We're closing on
It's
midnight.
August
EST.
30th, just before. Sneak in. You could steal away Baldur's Gate 3 or Starfield.
Roll the dice.
All right, we are populated across the networks. Let's get this show on this road because we are live. The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Continuing the saga of me forgetting my kids' ages.
Oh,
My-
yeah, okay. Please add to this saga.
That was okay. I nailed it that time. So
Right.
good for me, but it was terrifying. I don't know if my voice wavered, but I was just doing all the calculus. How old are my kids? The problem is they're at a 3-year split right now because my youngest is about to have his birthday and equal the odds. Like, I don't know how you calculate your sibling ages, but all of my siblings are my age plus or minus. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I don't inherently know what my brothers or sisters, how old they are. It's more like I know how old I am.
Yeah.
And then I do the math. And even with my kids, as soon as I get that first number at the gate, okay, well, he's just -2, except not right now.
Yeah, see, I can see how that works, right? It's like, how long was my reign of terror over my brother,
Yeah.
right? Like, how I had 3 years before he was born. So, yeah, I can see that. How you just count your age.
Yeah, that is amazing. So, everybody, welcome. And we want to start off with a big thank you to everybody who entered in our Baldur's Gate 3 giveaway. Fantastic response. It was so fun to interact with a bunch of fans. Like seeing, I know we had mentioned it ourselves as part of the contest. Like take a photo, like or a screenshot of you listening to the show, and some of the entries where it's actually the person with the episode. It was just
Yeah.
it's so cool to see our episode in the wild. But between the comments and the likes and the retweets, thank you everybody so much for that. We're going to be working on picking a winner over the coming week. If you're listening to this live, we are ending the contest will be over as of this recording, but we're going to be working on making sure we can pick the right person, do it random, make sure they're a real person, not a bot, and we'll announce it on next week's show. So do turn in. One thing for it is we are looking to have the winner. It'll be announcing it live, and that's how they'll find out. So do tune in to episode 300 celebratory for Baldur's Gate 3. Thank you so much.
Pew, pew, pew. We need some celebratory horns. Come on.
Pew 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 pew.
Yeah. 300.
Yes, sir. But we'll get into that next week. For this week, the speaking of Twitter and all what was a twit on that network was Starfield. Starfield was absolutely everywhere this week. It looks like a terribly dad unfriendly game as far as a size.
Yeah, you could get lost on a planet and we'll just never see you again.
It's Skyrim, but scaled up to space. Like what
Yeah.
could go wrong?
That's right. Yeah.
And so people are talking about this nonstop, and I'll say it got to me.
It
I
did, eh? It finally turned the key for you. You're like, I'm not so sure.
it looked fine. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, I'll probably look into it. This will be great. And I swear to God, you could probably look through our 300 episodes and the number of times this has happened, where a game was initially announced and like leading up to it, it's like, oh, this looks okay, and then you get
Yeah.
to the week before launch, and all of Trevor's like compass just goes astray, and it's like, oh, this looks so awesome.
Yeah, you jump on that train. Everybody's on this train, this hype train. Let's go.
But think about this from a Trevor perspective, and any listeners of the show will like recognize all of this. So it's Skyrim.
Yeah.
I love Skyrim. It's No Man's Sky. It's in space, and it's like, and it's Elite Dangerous. It's all just one game though. It's the same game. It's stunning.
Yep. It's all Trevor's favorite stuff to do in a video game,
Together.
wrapped in one universe where you'll be stuck there forever.
And thus comes the dad conundrum, as far as not having enough time, and thus my current quandary, where on previous shows I dived into Diablo 4, have enjoyed Diablo 4 very much so, but it cannot coexist, Jeff. There is no Starfield and Diablo 4 at the same time.
That's a lot to take on. You're fighting demons in hell in one of them, and then you're in a space vacuum in the other.
Yeah, so it is just a timing thing, and the place where I'm landing, and I'd be curious if any other gaming dads are kind of making this bargaining as well with me as well. So my current thinking is, I've been having a fantastic time Diablo 4. I will come back and I will revisit it. Currently, what I've currently been doing, I beat the game. I'm in season 1. Okay, so I'm currently trying to do the post game for the first time ever. Was enjoying it, but it's a grind. You gotta level up your person and like enjoy all the permutations of a particular season.
Right.
This season ends on October 17th, and that's when the new season begins.
Okay.
I would say I'm already a month behind this current season. Like I'm way behind it. Like I'm not leveled enough. It'd have to be my game for September and October.
Oh, okay. Yeah. To like, you're behind on your homework. You need to
Yeah,
catch
exactly.
up, right? Okay.
But very important homework. So accordingly, why not? Because Starfield's coming out. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to respectfully bow out of Diablo 4 for the rest of the season. Dive into some space pew pew. Do that for until October 17th, when the second season, or near after, when second season Diablo 4 starts, and then restart back up Starfield. Like, it's like what I tell my kids. Like, this is about planning and compromise, and like
Yeah.
efficient use of your time. Am I crazy here? Is that a bold strategy? Is it a smart strategy? Am I just weaseling out of my Diablo 4 commitments?
I think it'll bring you some joy. I don't think you can. I don't think you could be like, okay, no, I committed to Diablo 4, and you're sitting there playing it, just like looking at Starfield off in the distance on in Game Pass that's already like preloaded on your system. You can't be like, oh, you're gonna be distracted. You might as well just give in, and I think you have a lot of options there where you don't have to buy Starfield. You can just have it with your Game Pass subscription, so it'll be there for you.
Yeah,
And I think that's where some of the problem is, where you can't really commit to a game if you get it you don't get it for free, but like it's right there. Like you can play this blockbuster of a game that everyone's been looking forward to since, Skyrim,
Years.
Fallout 76, right? Like this is the next big thing. You could jump on board.
there we
Tell
go.
me how it is.
I will say that is a fantastic way to put it, because if it was purchasing the new game, it's like, all right, because I paid for Diablo 4.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do that every like 2 months, like that's not irresponsible. This is like a fun hobby. This is like one of my favorite things. But ultimately, like paying full price for games every couple months for something you're gonna commit to, quote unquote, pardon that word, seems a bit ridiculous. And then you just like throw it out and like jump into the next one. But this one is free. Like I do have access to it via Game Pass, so it seems almost silly not to indulge,
Well, at least test drive it, right? You could test drive your ship out in space, and then just see where you go from there. See where you land.
That's amazing. So, hey, any other gaming dads planning to jump on Starfield? Are you juggling your time a little bit and have a strategy as far as Starfield, Diablo, and other games? Reach out to us, newdadgaming.com or at newdadgaming. We'd love some tips for it, but expect my Starfield review as it becomes available in a couple of weeks. Now that is the thing, though. So here's the second quandary. The second quandary, Jeff, would be that the game it will not be available now for a couple weeks. And do I continue with Diablo 4 for a couple weeks for something that I know I'm going to abandon, or do I sample another thing to whet my appetite?
You were just in a gaming buffet. Like, look at you. You're like, I can't
trying.
really decide on what I want on my plate. I'm just getting a little everything.
I'm drowning in games. I have to. What is it? I have to scream, but I have no mouth, or it's like water everywhere, but none that I can drink.
Yeah.
However that quote goes, I mangled it. But that in this particular case, Everspace 2, which might have suffered from the worst launch timing imaginable, coming out just so close to Starfield, is silly because I think this thing only launched like last month.
I didn't even know until you brought it up. I had no idea that this thing was even out there.
Well reviewed. People really liked it. This game got great like critic scores. It looked like they took everything that was fun from the first and just like dialed it up a notch, like improved it. It's a great roguelike space game, just constantly changing, a bunch of battles, like 4 or 5 different ships, crazy customization, but approachable and arcadey. Awesome fun. I love the first one. Played it a bunch. I even played it in VR, which was awesome. Not available in number 2, unfortunately, but small studio, they can't do everything. Mm-hmm. So my thinking is, okay, so I'm not going to get the most out of this Diablo season. And I've already made the plan with Starfield.
Right.
So why not dip into Everspace 2 for a couple weeks, wet my space whistle. That's a thing.
Yeah,
gotta wet your space whistle.
I'm with you.
And then as soon as and then use this as my bridge game until Starfield comes out.
I mean, if it's gonna, again, it goes back to your joy, Trevor. I think this will bring you some joy and prep you for Starfield. Because, like, how can you not? I'm looking at the footage right now. I'm like, this is your game. You're out in space, manning a ship, designing a ship, going from asteroid to planet to asteroid. Why not?
Why
not?
We need to bring in some guests for the show because we really need a foil. Somebody who's gonna like say, no, it's a stupid idea. Like, what do you we're way too supportive. Like we convince each other to get PSVR headsets.
That's true.
You got a Steam Deck. Like we're very much too supportive. But perhaps Jeff,
each other on. That's right.
But maybe that is really the role of other gaming dads and the whole purpose of the show, supporting it. Have you ever had that before, where there was a game coming out, and in order to get ready for that game, even if it was a prequel to sequel type of thing, was there a game coming out that you were excited about and you dove into a game in preparation for the new game that was coming?
Yeah, there's been a lot of those where just recently Final Fantasy 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was pumped to get that, and they were like talking about how it's an action RPG, right? So you would think that I would go back to, previous Final Fantasy and just kind of get into that world again.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually looked into the battle system, and it's been a while since I played Devil May Cry.
No way. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I downloaded, I think where I left it was like Devil May Cry 2. But I went up a few versions just to get a little bit more recent and just tried out the battle system in an action RPG just to get a sense of it and just to have fun with it. And then when Final Fantasy 16 came out, it was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. This feels great. I'm already warmed up. My hands are warmed up. Let's go. Right?
All your training's paying off. Like you got those slick moves. Like, how long has this man been traded? It's like One Punch Man, just like sneaking in with all the hot stuff.
yeah, and it worked, right? Because it was something that I could drop. Because I didn't want to get anything that I would want to continue. If I replayed a Final Fantasy, that's an RPG that I would not want to give up so easily. Devil May Cry, you can play a couple levels and just hop out and then go into Final Fantasy 16. So with Everspace, you'd be like, oh, I'll play a couple missions, figure it out, and then dip into Starfield when the launches.
Do a little taste.
Scoot over here.
I do wonder, have you ever put it, I was trying to think for myself, and I don't think I've pulled this off yet. Maybe with one game, but with my kids, introducing them, they'll say, hey, I want a game like this. And it's like, okay, why don't we try this game first? I think I did that a bit with, they wanted to do some racing stuff, and there was a Hot Wheels racing game that came out, Hot Wheels Unleashed, which is a fantastic game, by the way. I think we should feature it in our Gaming Dad approved games. But to get them into, it's like, why don't we try this one? Because this is going to be big, silly, and arcadey. And we can kind of introduce you to the genre to see if there's anything else you're sort of into. I thought the same maybe for even some fighting games. Like they wanted Street Fighter, so I had like an old version lying around on like PlayStation. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, why don't you try this one first to see if you might like it? Have you ever done that as a bridge for your kids, where it's like, I want to try this game. I almost wonder with you with Starfield and stuff, or Civilization. I want to do this game. It's like, do you though?
Do you?
You play this first, and then you let me know.
So like, there is a moment where everybody, if listeners have been with us for the last, I guess, year, everyone will remember the Mario All-Stars, where I was one of those buyers, and there's dozens of us, Trevor, dozens. But they said, but my then, I think 8-9-year-old really wanted it, and I introduced them into Mario 64 on a N64 emulator, and even Mario Galaxy on a Wii emulator, and I'm like, this is kind of what you're getting into. And it's a little bit older. It's not like the new one, like Mario Odyssey or anything like that. It's got all these mechanics. Yeah, I want it. Yeah. And then sure enough, we buy this $90 Nintendo game, and no, it didn't pan out at all. So like, I introduced them into the mechanics, and it still didn't, like, it was a phase. Like, it was just flash in the pan. They were done with it. They liked the idea of it, but didn't stick with it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, great idea.
Yeah.
Did not pan out. It's just like, okay, this I will clearly be able to tell my kids' preferences by this introduction to the game. And not true in the slightest.
No. Right. It didn't work. But yeah, no, I'm all for it. And again, that's why we need demos back. Like,
oh my Lord, yes.
There are more now, and game trials are coming back. That's great. That's what we need, though, is just for family, for dads, for parents, just to, hey, you actually want this game? Test it out and then let me know. Then you might get it for your birthday or whatever.
We're seeing it a lot as the demo would be great because that's not time boxed, as in I'm about ready to buy this game, but put it, like, let me download it on my leisure. There's free play weekends. I've seen that fairly often, but that's more on their schedule as opposed to ours.
Yeah, that's true.
For busy dads doesn't quite work. So another great plea to the industry to give back game demos. Hey, so gaming dads, have you ever played an old game to prep for a new one? Are we crazy here for playing Everspace as a lead up to Starfield? Do you have your own? Have you ever tried to introduce your kid to a game to understand if they'd like the genre or the other game? Again, reach out to us, newdadgaming.com or at newdadgaming. So, and sadly, the kids aren't going to be playing much video games anymore because where I am, they're right back in school.
Wow, it's that time.
Man, full swing. It's glorious. I hate how much I love it. It's so glorious. Like, it is so amazing that everything is so structured. Like, summer was fast and loose, like fancy free. Like, you had no idea what was going to go on, and just like any number of days could just get away from you. And especially with, like, you're trying to create great memories in the family. It's also, especially in Canada, like, summer is such a time boxed window of nice weather and great stuff. So, okay, we'll lose this day of productivity to the water park, or we'll go to the biking, or we'll do all this thing. Amazing memories for sure. Like, I don't begrudge any of it, but ultimately your schedule takes a hit. I wake up at this time, I go to sleep at this time, I work between these hours. When I start work, I like to make a coffee at this hour, which in summertime just blasted to smithereens. Doesn't happen. Kids like way too much screen time.
Yeah.
We did okay. We did not do great. They had way too much time with the game systems. But yeah, I don't know. Do you? How exciting is? I hate. Do you remember? So before we get into you, do you remember? Shut up, Jeff. I have a story. Do you remember the commercial? And I hated it as a kid, and now I get it. It was someone playing Christmas music. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and the parents are just throwing like books and bags and pages into a cart, like streaming down the aisle and skipping. And the announcer's like, "They're going back."
Yeah.
And as a kid, it felt like just a punch in the stomach.
Huge punch, and that was usually in like early August. You'd see those, and you're like, "How dare you!"
Oh, that hurts so much. Anyway, I want to give that a little throwback. So yeah, yourself, like, what? So what is the level of joy for yourself and your household as gaming summer days are gone and school is around the corner?
Well, again, I'm looking forward to it. Like,
You're the guy rolling down the aisle
I
in full
I
joy.
absolutely, for all those things that you mentioned, like, again, the routine, there's been no routine in summer. We've done like the day trips. The kids are staying up way too late. They have way too much screen time. I'm trying to wrangle them to go outside and play. Anyway, it's been chaos all the while trying to work, right? So when they get into their routine of school, I will get back into my routine of actually working and drinking the coffee when I want to drink a coffee and all that stuff, right? And I think that routine is good. That structure is good, and they can't get out of it. So it's something that I am definitely looking forward to. I do feel like it is still work for us when they're in school. So I don't like that. I hate just the school
Homework.
time though. Like I still, yeah. And then like you have to deal with the teachers and stuff. And we go through all those conversations every year and it's just like exhausting, but I am ready for them just to, again, back in routine. Let's go.
Just like, feels
let's
like, it's just
try
like,
it out.
You can just imagine like 12-year-old yourself like comes in the room right now and listens to you talking.
Yeah.
And just the sadness they would have.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened, man?
You've turned into your parents, man. Like,
It's like,
turned into
like,
them.
that's what parenting is. You'll understand one day. But
Yeah.
They're
No,
going-
they're ready to go back too. We had a big blowout before the show, and we had the kids, like, we talked about responsibility and how they've kind of been like acting a little bit entitled, and we had all this conversation, and they were supposed to get ready for school, like get their backpacks washed and all that stuff, and they didn't do it because they were playing games. So it's the whole thing about priority, and I'm like, this is why school is good for you. Like the structure is there. I would love to give you that if work was in every day, but yeah, they're ready.
yeah. So I'm sure gaming dads agree with us on that one. So you live long enough, you become the villain eventually.
Oh
so.
no, yeah, that's true.
But while they're at school, you can play whatever game you want, Jeff. And what
That's right.
game are you playing right now that has you jumped up and excited?
So this one I was not excited for. I wasn't excited for this one. Armored Core 6. I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. It's from FromSoft. They did Dark Souls, Elden Ring, all that stuff, and this is one of their originals, right? And the whole thing is like a mech game, and you like figure out your builds, and it's right down to like weight systems and energy levels. You have to balance all that out. I'm like, that sounds like a lot. I'm not
A
interested.
lot of management, yeah.
That's right. But you know what?
However, flash forward. One
Yeah,
week.
exactly. I was looking at my Gundams that I build, and I think I mentioned that on the show, like little toys that you can kind of assemble and stuff, and I find it fun and calming and stuff. And this is what this is in digital form. You build these machines, you do custom decals and paint jobs and systems, and you buy new parts and you swap them in and out and build this thing. I'm like, that okay, I'm cool. All right, I'm sold.
You got it.
I
Okay.
want to go in. I'm gonna go in. So a little hiccup with that though is that my primary console now is the Steam Deck. It's just it works for me as a gaming parent. I love the Steam Deck as my console of choice. Buy it on there because it's Steam verified. Everybody in the forums is saying this runs perfectly. Perfectly are the words that are being used.
Perfect.
Right?
That is a bold claim.
And I don't like the gaming discourse now where like if you like something you really have to go that extreme. Like there's no critique about it, right? Like it's the best thing ever. 10 out of 10. It runs perfectly. And this thing did not run perfectly on the Steam Deck, Trevor.
That's
Like-
what we call in the business a lie.
Yeah, like I get it. You like this game, you want people to buy it and play it on the Steam Deck and promote it in that way. Great. Yeah, I get it. But don't lie to the community. And even like the label on it says it's verified and it runs. Yeah, it runs, but in what form is different. Like it's like the Steam Deck was about to take off. Anybody that has a PS4 and knows the fan noise, that's what the Steam Deck was doing. So I'm like, that can't be healthy for it, right? Like it adds to the immersion of like spinning up the fans in your little machine maybe.
All the noise that would happen inside your mech,
Yeah.
duplicated by the actual Steam Deck, just like going nuclear almost.
That's right. So in the end, I had a taste of the Steam Deck refund system, which I will say it was remarkable. Like I got my credit, I got it was through a credit card charge that was all refunded like almost instant. It just said, "What's wrong with the game?" I guess I looked at like I hadn't done these refunds before, and it was in my account like not a few hours later.
That's great.
So
That's
I will
really nice.
recommend that for sure, as long as you're under 2 hours of gameplay. I think it is, but that's kind of the demo system. Like I guess you couldn't take it like you can't do that with every game because they'll start to flag you. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that that was there because I would be out. You know, this was a full price game. So I would be out that money and be kind of pissed off or being waited for a patch or something to fix the performance. Anyway, in the end, I ended up buying it on PS5 with a credit that I had there, and I'm playing it on my Steam Deck just through streaming.
Stream instead. So
Stream Deck.
Maybe that's what the forums meant. Like it runs perfectly as long as you know stream it from your PS5.
Streaming it, yeah, they could have very easily, but it's one that it's like your sci-fi thing. Like I got into this game, I am enjoying it completely, very dad friendly. Everything is like mission based with checkpoint systems, and usually if you play Elden Ring, like you only get a certain number of heals, and you have to find a campfire, right? And then once you get your heals back, all the enemies regenerate. Not here. This is great.
Jeez.
You die at a boss, you start at the boss with all your heals, you can swap out all the parts that aren't working, right? You can try a different gun, you can try different legs, you can try different
That's cool.
heads for your thing and go back in. So it's difficult, but it's kind of on you to be, you know, strategizing how to get around this kind of obstacle. It's not stressful. It's very easy. You can replay any mission, earn whatever money, you don't lose anything. You don't lose your gear if you die.
So that's like, which is kind of wild, given that it's a FromSoft,
Yeah.
who just love to hurt their
you.
player base. You would think it would be, you know, you have to build up your credits to actually buy this thing, and then if you explode, well, you start from start from scratch, noob.
Yeah,
nice
that
try.
would suck. No, nothing like that. Yeah, if you kill your machine over and over and over, which does happen, you don't lose any money, you don't lose any parts, you don't lose your machine, you don't have to rebuild. And again, checkpoint system, replay any mission to get all that money back, whatever you want. And then you just keep earning, buying, and playing. And that's what I love about this game. It's such a gamey game. I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna. That was just about the words I was trying to search for. It's not just that it's well played and fun. It's almost like a game of old arcade style. Jump in, like choose different guns. Okay, this time I'm gonna have a sword. Pew pew pew. Like I beat this guy. Then like, oh, I die, but you get to restart, and it's that visceral, fast, like quick, excellent type of game. That's really cool to hear, especially but from FromSoft of all people.
I
You'd expect it to be
know.
so hard.
Yeah, and I haven't been in Armored Core since maybe the second one on I think PS2. So it's good to be back in a big giant mech. But if you wanted a story or anything, this is not that. This is like everything. I don't even think you see a face. It's all like the
Wow.
Metal Gear Solid codecs that come in, like over the speaker, and like, yeah, you need to go here. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. All right, like that's all you need to do. And again, as a gaming dad, yeah, just tell me what to do, where to go, what to blow up. I'm good.
Do you think your kids would be into it?
I think well, my oldest already saw me lose against the boss, and they're like, "Give it to me."
No way. Out of the way, old man.
That's right. They got annihilated, but you know, it was like a humbling experience for them. But they were gonna show up, dad. They were ready to go. So they did play a little bit of it and had a blast. But it is no slouch of a game. Like you do need to figure out your strategy and think. So
You gotta get your systems right.
yeah.
No, that looks like a blast. That's great. Like it is a very, I don't want to call it a niche title. Like it's not necessarily like tiny, but it's not a big blowout like a Starfield type of thing. But it is getting this type of. I've seen similar praise online. It's like, wow, this is fun. The customization is crazy. I'm seeing a lot of like rainbow bots and pink bots and like ammo like whole teams are like color coordinating, so they go out. They look like they're great. So it looks like people are having just a blast with it. That is really cool.
It's fun. Jump in. That's your next game. Okay, we sell on each other's like with games.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get Starfield. I don't know.
There
Maybe
you go.
you'll get Armored Core. Who knows?
Hey, nice try. I'm heading for Everspace. We'll see if I bounce off of it. Maybe I can look into it.
Okay.
Now, if I don't want to buy it though, all I can do is I can just log into Roblox, which is the IP theft domain of the world. As far as like, do you want to play some Peppa Pig? Do you want to play a knockoff of Five Nights at Freddy's? Do you want to steal the entirety of assets from Hello Neighbor? Well, Roblox is your buddy. And I mentioned that because there is no hope. There is nothing else. There is only Roblox.
That's you. That's your household, eh? Roblox all the time.
It's the Xbox is a glorified Roblox machine. They're Chrome tablets I bought so they would learn how to use computers.
Wait, it's on Xbox? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, it's not on Switch.
It's
It
not
doesn't.
on PlayStation either.
No, really
No, I think it has to do with the mod system, right? They don't allow that.
fascinating. I
Huh.
didn't even know that. It is on Xbox because that's their mainstay, and then both of their Chromebooks they also play on, which is like yeah. Anyway, but that's all it is. That is what my house is now. It is just like Roblox. We brought. They had a great visit with their cousins, which had the three of them. Roblox. They just all had played. They just all played Roblox. They friended each other. They got into a match, and that's just all they did. And they have other friends over Roblox. They play on the weekends now. Roblox. They're
Roblox.
just. I just want them to play other games.
Did we have that game? I'm trying to think of like there were phases. Like Street Fighter 2 is played to death. I remember that. But like, did we have was that a Roblox? I don't know.
Did we have a game that just overtook our generation?
Yeah, just our life of gaming. I don't think so, right?
They weren't
we
big enough to-
moved on pretty quickly.
The thing about Roblox is like I was trying to explain to my wife, and that was fun. It's like 'cause it's like well,
It's not a game, it's a platform. Like that
That's-
kind of stuff.
that was my literal
Yeah.
sentence. That's the best I could do because it's people can go on and they can create little games of whatever they want, and you can imagine like someone creates like a Pokemon game, then another builds a sim, and then another one builds a racing game, and da 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 on and on and on. People are pouring crazy amounts of time and effort into it. Like there's one game they're playing right now where it's like slap, and they have like a stick with a hand, and then you can rotate your character, and if you slap the other person, they go flying off of it. There's another one. It's all ripoffs. The one is like Donut Hole,
Yeah.
where it's like it falls into like
Hitchhiker kind of thing.
yeah. And another one is like a Pokemon ripoff. Like it's all just. It's not so much the thing is like it's not like they're addicted to Roblox. They're all about the games within it, and there's now like this suite of, let's call it 20 that they've discovered that they're all about. So what it is like those constant quick hits. Like they're playing different games, quote unquote, but ultimately it's all within Roblox.
So is the question? Okay, so sorry. Going back to Game Pass.
Yeah, that's it. It is a poor man's Game Pass, man. That's all it is.
You're like, I'm gonna play Starfield. I'm gonna play Everspace. I'm gonna jump in here. You're like,
Poor. That's not, I shouldn't say that. It's not poor. It is an IP den of opium den of thieves.
yeah, that is true. Yes.
Of these games where it's like Five Nights at Freddy's, like Peppa Pig, like Simpsons. It's the audacity of it is what I don't understand. It's like how has Marvel not shut down the Avengers game that they have, or Pokemon? Pokemon's the best one.
Yeah.
I'm not talking it's like Pokemon or something and like it's like cheap knockoff. I'm talking like Pokemon
Yeah.
with Pikachu with the sounds of Pikachu. And it's like the litigious Nintendo of all people have not like just rammed inside of there and just ripped it apart. Are you kidding me? Like what is it about this world that like it could just be so blatant and ridiculous?
I know it's big, but I don't know if it's like Nintendo big, right? Nintendo's got to have, or like Disney, right? Disney with
Right.
Marvel, like they could step in there and be like, no, the mouse says no, and then bye, like. And I don't know how it makes it onto like the platforms like Xbox where they have those, those checks where a developer will be like, no, you can't have my content floating out there,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, no, it's interesting, but until then, like the kids are gonna keep on playing it until there's copyright infringement and it becomes this boring like flash game.
Oh Lord, it gets into a weird place. I largely imagine it's like a YouTube in the sense that, or a Twitch or whatever else, where it's like it's the platform and people put up stuff and we do our best to take it down, but ultimately you can't do that at scale. So if something slips through the cracks, let us know.
It's
No
like a
players
Hydra.
gonna. Yeah,
It's like a Hydra, you just cut it off and then like two pop up and you're like, well, this is like it's not gonna end.
and as soon as one thing gets popular, like you'll see 6 or 7 permeations of the same thing. So it's. Okay, there is no hope, Jeff. There is no
There's no
light.
hope.
There
They're
is
all
only
lost.
Roblox. It's just. I'm just gonna go float around in space and forget like we ever had this conversation. just so be it, kids.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
Yeah. And on that happy note, we'll end the episode for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. Once again, we have episode 300 coming up next week. It's been such an honor to be here with you all for this entire journey. We've had a ton of fun, and we're really looking forward to the next 300 as we go. So, hope best of luck for the giveaway. Whoever does win it, I hope Baldur's Gate 3 is a ton of fun for you. If you like the episode, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks. You can find us on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. If you do find us on one of those, what really helps out the show, if you go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment. That really helps boost the show, gets us out to as many gaming dads as possible. If you want to leave us a comment, one of the best parts about the show has been interacting with dads. We hear your Roblox stories. We hear your opinion on Diablo 4 and Starfield. And going back and forth and even featuring some of that on the show has been fantastic. So reach out to us on Twitter at NewDadGaming or through our website, newdadgaming.com. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Till next week, my name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, and everyone's saying ground control to Major Trevor.
Ground control.
You got to play that song and play the game. I'm just saying.
Don't forget your kids.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Remember, everybody, just because you became a dad
Does not mean it's game over.
Everybody. See you next week.
See you in space.
Yeah.